In the previous video, we learned how to establish secure TLS-based MQTT connections with the Mosquitto broker using certificates. Today we will try to explore the encryption of payload itself. This is the case which is useful in case we are not able to establish TLS-based secure communication, or in addition to TLS, if we want to encrypt the payload of the message so that the clients involved in the communication are the only ones which can decipher the message. Hence, the message remains end-to-end encrypted, and any third-party client which is unaware of the private key used in the encryption will not be able to decipher the message. Even if they manage to somehow access the messages, they will not be able to make meaning out of the payload as it will be encrypted. So let's start. Here in this case, I'm planning to use a symmetric encryption algorithm. As in case of a symmetric encryption algorithm, a common key, which is the private key, is shared between the clients, and this can be used to both encrypt the payload as well as decrypt the payload. Apart from this, there is asymmetric encryption algorithm as well, which is a topic for another video. For the symmetric encryption algorithm, we will use AES. AES is an acronym for Advanced Encryption Standard. This is widely used symmetric encryption algorithm which has plenty of support across different technologies. So we will go ahead and download the AES NuGet package and install in both of our clients. So here we will install the system.security.cryptography.algorithms package in the publisher project, and same we will try to install in case of our subscriber. Now that the NuGet package has been installed in both the projects, what we will do is we will start with creating a method which can encrypt the existing payload. In this case, till now, our payload exists of a very simple message called hello. So now we'll try to create a method which will encrypt this message or any message which we provide to that method and give us an encrypted message as its return value, which we will then publish to the broker. So let's start with creating a method which will return us encrypted message. This method will accept the payload itself, and in addition to this, it will also accept the encryption key. We will start with extracting the key. So what we will do is we will first convert this encryption key to an array of bytes. Then we will create an instance of AES algorithm. Now that we have created an instance of AES algorithm, we'll go ahead and create an encryptor. We'll create the instance of AES algorithm and call a method called createEncryptor. This method will accept two parameters. First is the key itself, which we have gotten, which is the array of bytes, and the initialization vector, which is a property in the AES algorithm class itself. Now that we have created an encryptor, we will create a memory stream. Once we have created the memory stream, we'll go ahead and create a crypto stream. This crypto stream will accept stream, transform, and crypto stream mode as its parameter. So in case of stream, we will pass the memory stream which we have created previously, the encryptor. And in case of the crypto stream mode, we will provide set the mode as write mode, since we have to Now that we have created a crypto stream, now we will create an instance of stream writer. And in constructor of stream writer, we will provide the instance of crypto stream which we have created previously. Now what we will do in case of the stream writer, we will finally write the payload which we have gotten. Now that we have written the payload in the stream, we'll create an instance of the initialization vector, which is same. Then we will create an instance of decrypted content, in which we will convert the memory stream to an array and store it inside the instance of decrypted content. Now we'll also create a result, which is a byte array. The size of the byte array will be the length of initialization vector plus the length of decrypted content. Now what we will do is we will just copy first the initialization vector's value inside the result array, starting from the 0th index till the entire initialization vector ends. Post that, we will copy the decrypted content starting from where the initialization vector's contents have ended, and then we will copy entire decrypted content in the result itself. Initialization vector dot length. So whenever this initialization vector's contents are ending in that result array, we will start from that index, the next index from that, till the decrypted content ends. So this way we have copied the entire data inside this result. Now we will convert the result to base 64 string and return it back. So this is going to be our encrypted content. So we'll start with calling the method encrypt message and passing the first parameter as the payload itself, and the second parameter will be the key. Here in this case, we have a previously generated key which we are using in order to encrypt and both decrypt the message. So first we will try to run the project as it is and see what the subscriber receives when we try to encrypt this message hello and send it to the subscriber who is unaware of this encryption key, and so forth. He or she, since they are not knowing the encryption key, cannot decrypt the message back to its original value. So when we try to publish the same message, which is hello, but in an encrypted form, this is what is received at the subscriber's end. Since the subscriber does not have the encryption key, the subscriber cannot decrypt the message and get the actual message. This is what will happen to the third party clients which are trying to connect to the broker and trying to listen on the same topic but are not authorized. Hence, they don't know the encryption key. And since they don't know the encryption key, they cannot decrypt the message in its original form, and this is what they will receive. So now, in order to make the subscriber understand the messages which it is receiving, we'll have to provide a similar decryption functionality at the subscriber's end. For this, we will create a method again, which will be called decrypt string, which will accept the encrypted message and similarly the encryption key. First, we will have to convert this encrypted message from base 64 back to an array of bytes, which was the result for which we will use from base 64 string. We will pass the encrypted message as its parameter. Then we will create an instance of cipher wherein we will create a new byte array and the initialization vector, which will also be a byte array. Now, whatever we did at the end of previous encryption functionality, which is we were copying the initialization vector and the content into a final array, which was the result, which was a byte array, to which we finally converted it back to a base 64 string. Now we are just doing everything in the reverse order. So first we will copy and extract out the initialization vector and the content from the fully encrypted message. So we'll start from the 0th index, try to copy into initialization vector, and for the length of entire initialization vector. Post that, we will again take the cipher message, but this time we will start from the next consecutive index from where the previous initialization vector had ended. Post that, we will copy it in the cipher, which is a byte array starting from the 0th index till the initialization vector's length, or the cipher's length. Both are same in this case. Now we will have to create an instance of key wherein we will generate the byte representation of the encryption key. Now that we have extracted out the byte representation of the encryption key, we will create an instance of AES algorithm similarly. Once we have created the instance of AES algorithm, we will go ahead and create a decryptor, for which we will use the instance of AES algorithm and a method called create decryptor. In case of create decryptor, similarly we need to provide the key and the initialization vector, which in this case we have already extracted out from the message. Once we have created the decryptor, we will create a placeholder in the form of a result string, which will not have anything as of now. Then we will start and create a memory stream. In the constructor of memory stream, we will provide the instance of cipher. Post that, we will create an instance of again the crypto stream. Crypto stream will accept multiple parameters, first of which will be the instance of memory stream itself, post which it will require a decryptor, and in this case the stream mode will be read. Once we have created the instance of crypto stream, we will go ahead and create a stream reader. To its constructor, we will pass the crypto decryptor. Once we have done this, we can go ahead and put the deciphered text in the result. So now that we have stored the decrypted string inside the instance of result, we will return it from this method. Once we get the decrypted string back from this method, we will print it out in the console. So whenever we are trying to print the message which we have received, in this particular case, we will receive an encrypted message. So we will just call the decrypt string method and pass on this payload along with the encryption key. Now when we try to print the same message, so from here we will publish the encrypted hello, and at the subscriber's end we are receiving the decrypted message. So now if we want to see what a third party client will see in case that particular client does not have this encryption key, we can print the encrypted message as well in the console, for which we will print this payload itself. So if we see, if we try to publish the message hello, this is the encrypted message which was received, and we deciphered that encrypted message back to its original content. So this is how an end-to-end encryption can be implemented in case of the MQTT clients.